What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Showtime is TheBlaziking, and because, Slobs has to be a piece of shit, this is going to be a little bit more awkward than normal, but hey, maybe if eventually they can get their shit together and fix whatever's wrong. Well, not get their shit together, because they have no idea what's wrong with it, but regardless, we're recording this off regular OBS, so if dimensions are a little off or something, I highly apologize. I had to, fix to make sure it was in an okay position for, 10 minutes. So hopefully this works out as every other video I've recorded over the past several years on Slobs has. That said, if you're looking forward to the information within, well, you probably already heard it from several other people. I still like to check it out myself fresh. Let me know what you're most excited to hear or what you have heard of in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're not going to stick around for my video, at least let the video run through, let me get the watch time, because it's highly appreciated, because watch time, subs, likes, all that stuff helps my life be just a little bit better. And that said, let's let it run through.
Kami-gami yo, goran kudasai. Amphoreous は勝利を収め、再創期が間もなく訪れます。しかし、本当にそうでしょうか。
最近、エルシオンの景色がまぶたの裏をよぎるんだ。
最後の一人になったとしても、再創生の。
Okay, also, before they continue into this, I am gonna just mention the whole end of story. I only finished that 2-3 weeks ago, and can again March actually being his old friend kind of makes so much sense. Can we just feel that immediately? It makes sense on what was happening to her going into Amphoreous. It makes sense to why she, just isn't even on the Express anymore. I'm not gonna try to explain how the fuck she just teleported onto the planet, but that's a whole other thing. She must have powers like the Trailblazer, where it's oh hey, there's a summoning beacon. But yeah, that I really hate things that end off on a cliffhanger like that, because it's just such a dick move. For a game, it's one thing, because as long as the game is still ongoing, you're gonna get resolution eventually. But bro, honestly, matter of fact, that's probably the best thing I like about games like this as opposed to traditional video games, is it's not like you're waiting, anywhere between 3 to 13 or more years for another installment of that game. Kingdom Hearts!
偉業を成し遂げてください。
新世界は必ず訪れる。黎明を灯す。星々を燃やし尽くす。諸行をもたらそう。第1回諸行をもたらそう。
Okay, now, I saw fan art of this before I actually played the story, last update. I thought that was just bullshit, but apparently they, tapped into some sort of data leak, because that is something I saw already, and damn, he looks badass. My alt is gonna be happy. Actually, wait, I say that, but I also might just save everything in my alt for Archer and get fine in on his return. Oh, that's where they're mixing it in. Okay, honestly, I appreciate that they did it this way instead of just, bullshitting it, Just, throwing the Express crew on a planet that already has a Holy Grail war. So, that is not a bad idea. Because, we already have all these fucking similar to what feels like, I don't know, a Rome aspect in Amphoreous, so yeah, I guess that does make sense, doesn't it? Actually, on that topic, it also brings to wonder, is that how they're gonna, revive a couple of the people that we've lost? Because, well, we didn't technically lose Mighty or, Hyacine, Castros is technically dead, but also not really. But is this how we're also going to get a bunch of them back into the fray of things? Because it's their revival? Because they're heroes who passed on, so they might be sitting in the throne of heroes.
とあなたが私のマスターか燃えたて騎士の魂
Okay. Also, I do appreciate the Stay Night version of Artoria being captured in this. Like, I know that's what we've been told all right along, but like, I mean the actual invisible Excalibur version of Artoria.
よ防具よ舞い上がれ
もう少し手応えがあると思ったね機は熟した逃げ場はない
Ooh, Archer looks pretty cool too already.
あらゆる邪悪を打ち滅ぼせセイバー
汝は開白の黎明が訪れるまで灼熱の太陽を背負い続ける黎明が訪れるまで灼熱の
Also, the thought to be canon that the Flame Ravager is just Finan, I really am liking the idea on that more and more.
太陽を背負い続ける
死者を花から呼び出して殺し合わせて勝者が全てを手に入れる
行かなくちゃいけない背負わないといけないんだ
キノコにの伝説はあれど英雄はいないと
お任せを
私見ました壊滅これにて完成宝石の余震をもって来世に暁を
Alright. Yeah, I think that's enough time for it to be up. The fact they keep the codes on screen for like 90 seconds at least is appreciated, but y'all can just like pause the screen.
Hey, Mr. Albert?
Albert's glitching out a little bit over there. Also, can we get subtitles back? And why are they Chinese? I don't want Chinese subtitles. Like, do I have an option for English? Okay, like, there's no actual English version other than auto-generate, whatever, close enough.
Owlbert.
Woo! And whether or not you have a day-night cycle, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the version 3.4 for The Sun is Set to Die special program. I'm your most beloved host, Albert.
Rebooting really does solve all problems. Now we can introduce ourselves. Hi, everyone. I'm Finan. I'm so happy to be on.
You know, I'm Fen. Like, I get the live stream just happened now, so there's not proper subtitles, but also, what the fuck, bro?
On the special program.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anaxagoras.
Nice to see all of you again. Did you miss me?
Oh, of course we missed you. Well, dear guests, welcome to the show. I have been looking forward to this special program more than anything else. The way the story in the last version left off had my heart racing.
The burning sky and the fall of dawn. Akuma was the last place under Kefali's protection, but now it has also sunk into Evernight.
All of our Chrysosaur companions did everything in their power to buy precious time for the Trailblazer and Finan, so they could return the very last core flame to the vortex of Genesis.
We already found out the truth, so what do a few sacrifices matter? Every Chrysos heir was prepared for this. You just need to boldly take that last step toward the Era Nova.
But in the trailer just now, it seems like Finan is gonna go through a lot. I saw a few scenes that looked like flashbacks, and I think I even saw a different form of him.
The truth of Amphoreous is about to reveal itself. I assume everyone can already tell.
I was actually about to mention something about the leak, but I also just realized that also might be like a dick move. But then I also just realized might be a little obvious. Fuck, I'm just gonna go off the ball and say it. The thing I saw mentioned that Finan and Mighty like combined, and I don't know how that's gonna happen. But looking at Finan's model there, seems like it very well could have been a thing. Excuse me.
That all that's happened in Amphoreous is not as simple as it seems.
Indeed. For example, when we went to fight Aquila, we noticed that the Eye of Twilight seemed unusually high-tech.
And when the Dawn device went out, many of the structures in Akuma and the Vortex of Genesis started showing strange textures. It was like the whole world was peeling off.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we take a look back at our whole journey so far in Amphoreous and lay out our suspicions and clues we have. First, at the end of the 3.3 story, the geniuses reveal that the source of Amphoreous' tragedy is an Emperor's scepter that survived to this day.
It has something to do with that erudition god beyond the sky, doesn't it? Even though I don't quite understand these principles, this breeding ground, which switched from following the path of erudition to the path of destruction, must be hiding secrets beyond Era Nova.
In addition, that Tin Man Lygist is also pretty suspicious. He and Finan had a pretty significant conversation in the Vortex of Genesis.
Actually, I was already suspicious of him when he said he could fix the Express and send the Trailblazers back home.
Okay, but yeah, for real, I've been sus of Lygus since the beginning. Kind of a douchebag. Like, I don't trust a bunch of those Intellitrons. I barely trust, Scrollum. Like, something tells me, I don't know, man, maybe Scrollum's gonna, like, one of these days.
Well, the mask is coming off now.
Based on my interactions with him, Lygus doesn't seem to have any desire to oppose the Chrysos heirs. Rather, he only wishes to quietly
Hold on. Chimera mention.
observe everything as it unfolds.
Could it be that everything that's happened so far is exactly what he wanted to see? That title, Theoros, does mean spectator. If we combine this information with what we know about the relationship between the scepter and paths, maybe Amphoreous is being used as a chessboard by people from beyond this world.
I've seen Amphoreous spelled like 7 different ways from these subtitles, by the way. And Finan.
And Lygus is one of them.
Oh, you're exactly right. If the situation in the cosmos is like a game of chess, then Amphoreous is a trap to set up the checkmate. But who knows? Maybe the chess pieces themselves can overturn the board. The hero's Era Nova could affect the worlds beyond the sky, and the Trailblazers' choices may also determine the future of the universe.
But before the Era Nova actually arrives, there's no way to tell what it will bring. The Trailblazers have already done so much for Amphoreous. I don't want them to have to experience the unknown of Era Nova.
As someone from beyond the sky, they already risked a lot by taking on a demigod's divine authority. If something were to happen in the Era Nova...
No, we can't let them stay. They have to listen to Finan and go home.
Well said. The Trailblazers won't betray the sincerity you've shown them. However, their fate will still be tied to that of Amphoreous. They'll be returning to the battlefield with a very important mission.
On the other hand, I suspect many of our audience members, like me, have some questions about Finan. That Finan we saw in the Vortex of Genesis at the end of the 3.3 story? Why was his name hidden?
Well, maybe that Finan isn't the one we're all familiar with.
Oh?
But I'll leave the specific details for everyone to find out themselves in the game in version 3.4. I've actually got some other information to reveal to you.
What kind of information?
Following the story's progress, as I've written, we'll receive a big update in this version. In these records that we've kept, you will be able to catch a glimpse of Amphoreous' true nature.
before. As I've Written was like a storybook, keeping record of our friends' stories. Now, even its appearance has changed. It feels like something big is about to happen.
It looks like it's turned into some kind of database.
You can use this system to unlock even more of Amphoreous' secrets.
Indeed.
That's right.
True!
Aside from the major updates too, as I've written, the long-awaited skip dialogue feature, which was previously announced, is finally going live.
Pog! We love the skip dialogue feature. Now, obviously, I won't do it on my main account when I, like, stream it and shit, but, like, my alt account? Forget about it. My alt account, it'll be... Actually, I can literally just go play, like, the 2 events going on right now and wait for that update to hit next week to be able to play the story out. Because then I can literally just go, oh, hey, story mode. Skip, 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 skip. I've seen this already.
Live in version 3.4. Story dialogue can now be skipped by section with plot summaries and...
Or even better, you can skip dialogue that has nothing to do with the main story. All those side events that like are like kind of cool pieces of information and like maybe there's a reference or two, you can just skip past all that shit.
and the main characters that appeared in each section displayed along the way. Now you can choose the pace of storytelling based on your own preferences. In version 3.6, there'll also be a story recap function. Stay tuned! But of course, as we move into version 3.4, we shall take the final step of the prophecy together and witness the truth and the fate of this world. And the myriad celestia that Mr. Shaoji hinted at in the version 3.2.
Okay, you mean about Nanook? You know, also, I've said this since the beginning that when they mentioned something about Golden Blood, Nanook. Coincidence? I think not.
Preview is finally going live soon.
Oh, you mean what's happening beyond the sky? Is it also related to Amphoreous and Era Nova?
We'll have to keep it a secret for now. Meanwhile, we'll be releasing an animated short. This animated short contains a very important part of the story in version 3.
Speaking of animated shorts, again, Hoyo make anime. Even if you can't keep reins on your voice actors, if you make anime, maybe you can, like, get them to go with shit a little better. And also, speaking of the whole voice actor thing, rightfully fuck Fran Drescher. I always heard she was not a great person. I didn't know she was in charge of SAG.
Point 4. Can't spill too much here, but I can give you a little teaser. This short will come with its own original theme song!
Which, before anyone bitches in the comment section, I know originally that it was not related to, like, Hoyo was not related to that whole incident, but yet somehow it still became enwrapped in that whole thing.
So don't miss it!
Awesome. Nice!
I can't wait to dive into the new story already.
Next, why don't we turn our attention to our good friend Viden and take a look at his story together.
Okay, but like transformative ults are one of my favorite things, I will say. Yeah, no, I'm going back to the whole thought process, and maybe this is definitely a fusion of him and Mighty, because that literally looks like, you know, the Sword of Strife strike, as well as that other move that Nikador did.
What in the world happened to Finan to make him change this much?
This is nothing like the warm, sunny person we all know. Now he seems strange and formidable.
Oh, Could you elaborate?
I remember when our buddy first showed up in Amphoreous. Finan was one of the first Chrysos heirs to genuinely welcome them. And when danger came knocking, he always had our backs.
But behind that kindness and reliability, Finan carries the expectations of many. He is the deliverer chosen by the prophecy, and Aglaya's hand-picked successor of the Flame Chase journey. Aglaya even used her own death to set him up for success by making the Council of Elders the focus of criticism, and allowing Finan to step up and rally the people.
Yeah, all of us have high hopes for him. Some even call him the Deliverer of Amphoreous. Even Cypher, who barely ever showed her face, used to call him Little Deliverer Boy.
It's as if everyone just assumes that he'll be a savior.
Now I'm curious. What was Finan like before he joined the Flame Chase journey? Was he one of those perfect kids everyone got compared to?
Before the Flame Chase journey, guess we've got to go back to my hometown, Ides Elysiae. It was a small, remote village. Nothing flashy, but far away from the chaos.
Ooh, sounds like a real peaceful place.
It was. And even though the village was small, everyone got along really well. There were also beautiful rivers and mountains, and even a forest. That forest was home to all kinds of little fairies. When I was little, I'd go exploring the woods and visit those cute fairies. When I wasn't exploring, I'd go play with my friends by the sea. We pretended to be heroes from the old stories and practiced our, swordsmanship. When we got tired, we went to lie down in the wheat fields until we got called home for dinner.
No strife, no invaders, or any of that deliverance crisis stuff? Seems like a complete paradise.
The wheat fields look gorgeous too. Lying there surrounded by golden waves of wheat, with the breeze carrying that sweet malted scent. Oh, just the thought of it is enough to get me excited.
And guess what? You won't have to imagine for long. In version 3.4, we get to explore
A flashback world. Hell yeah.
Ides Elysiae alongside the Trailblazer. Learn about Finan's past, how he became a warrior, joined the Flame Chase, and grew into the person he is today.
Can't wait!
From a carefree little kid to the deliverer carrying everyone's hopes, you've really come a long way.
These days, Finan just gives off this heaviness. Like he'd still press on no matter how
That dinosaur thing actually eating whatever Finan's lying against?
exhausted, just to live up to everyone's expectations.
Amphoreous needed a hero, so he became one. The Chrysos heirs needed hope and a leader, so that's who he became. Looking back at the main art for this version, even though Finan's face is still the same, his whole vibe has shifted. His gaze is now sharp and commanding, completely different from before. Now we're just one step away from the era Nova that the prophecy foretold. The deepest truths of Amphoreous are about to come to light. What trials lie ahead, and what choices will Finan make?
A hero's journey is never easy. But if the will in your heart is strong enough, no fire can burn you out. If anything, every trial is just a forge for an even brighter soul. I am more than ready.
Well said. Then, let's let everyone experience it all themselves in version 3.4. Now let's take a look at how Finan performs in battle.
You got it. I'll first show up in the familiar form everyone knows. When using my skill, I'll deal damage to...
Pause. Do I bother to watch this? Because... Yeah, sure. Because, like, if the... Not Myriad Celestia, we haven't had one of those in ages. If the Keeping Up with Starl is the same video as this, basically, I'll just, like, not watch it. Maybe. We'll see. I'll just fucking let it run. Fuck it.
one designated enemy and adjacent targets. The use of my skill also grants me core flames. Once I've collected enough of them, I can activate my ultimate.
Wait, so core flames only come from using your skill?
Not at all. Finan can also gain core flames when he's selected as a target by a teammate or enemy ability. If he is the target of a teammate's ability, Finan will deal even more damage.
I don't think I've ever noticed it before, but that Bronya skill was running at like 1 time speed, and that gave me a little bit of agita. Oh.
When I use my ultimate, I'll create a territory and transform.
After transforming, Finan powers up massively. Teammates temporarily retreat and can't take action.
I also do hate how a character's skills are sometimes basically just a spoiler for the story. It's like, bruh. Like, I don't recall Firefly was introduced as Sam before she was actually released, so that wasn't a spoiler for the story. This is technically a spoiler for the story.
While he faces the enemy head-on with newfound strength.
All alone? That sounds way too risky.
No worries. All the talents and buffs from Finan's teammates still stay active to provide him with much-needed support.
Exactly. After using the core flames to transform, I have access to the powers of 3 kinds of titans: Creation, Calamity, and Foundation. Each with a brand...
Wait, so he 1vX's his opponents? That's an interesting ability. I mean, it does look like his health bar basically doubles, maybe even triples, as well as his moveset kind of, like, obviously increases based on what he's currently saying. But, like, the concept of, like, you yourself, just the one character being like, you 3, get out of here for now, is kind of fascinating, really.
New ability.
Care to elaborate on that?
Tapping into the power of the Creation Titans, I can deal damage to 1 designated enemy and adjacent targets. Calling upon the power of the Calamity Titans, I'll enter a special state called Soul Scorch. In this state, I'll force all enemies...
Look at the way they spelled that in the fucking AI text. That's fucking great. Scorch.
to immediately take action, during which I receive reduced damage, and each hit I take builds up the Soul Scorch stack. Once all enemies have taken action, I retaliate, dealing damage to all enemies and then unleashing multiple instances of damage on 1 random enemy.
Heads up. The more Soul Scorch stacks he's got, the stronger that counterattack hits.
Using these 2 abilities also grants me an exclusive charge called Scourge, which fuels my 3rd ability. With the power of the Foundation Titans, I dispel all debuffs on myself.
Or maybe he fused with fucking Gilgamesh, because, like, that's not basically a gate of Babylon, but close enough.
Then use Scourge Charge to deal bounce damage. If I've maxed out the consumable Scourge Charge, I also slam all enemies with extra damage.
Once all his actions have been used up, Finan will unleash 1 final blow, hitting all enemies before removing the territory. Finan's technique is pretty unique too. Upon casting it, Finan instantly strikes all enemies in a certain radius. If they're normal enemies, they're immediately wiped.
So my alt account gets something like Acheron. Or, like, at the beginning of this, I was all, oh, hey, maybe I'll skip Finan to just grab Archer. That is no longer on the table. I'm grabbing Finan now because he is basically Acheron, but I really regret saying this. He's basically Acheron, but better.
Out without even triggering a battle.
Wait, all enemies? That's nuts!
Of course, power comes with a cost. This technique consumes 2 technique points.
If the technique misses...
Okay, but, like, it's basically the same as Acheron. Like, it is literally the same as Acheron, but still technically better, because, like, if you're taking on 3 enemies with Acheron, that's 3 skill points. But if you're taking on 3 enemies with Finan, apparently that's only 2 skill points. So, that's still technically better. Like, it is kind of unfortunate if you waste that ability on 1 opponent, but you could also, like, bait 1 opponent over near another, so you're at least making proper use of the technique.
It won't cost any points. Plus, when Finan's in the team, the technique...
It is literally just Acheron's ability, because it doesn't even take technique points if it misses. My god, this next update is going to be murder.
Technique point cap goes up by 3.
When I use my technique to enter combat, I'll also regenerate energy for my teammates. In addition, I technique points.
If the technique misses, it won't cost any points. Plus, when Finance in the team, the technique point cap goes up by.
Okay, that's cool. Like, he gives a permanent technique point increase as well, which brings him back to being better than Akron. Okay, he was already still technically better than Akron, but, like, that makes him even better. And, hey, for all the whiners out there, they're like, oh, global passives are a bad thing. In theory, sure, whatever. But, like, at least this is just a team-based global passive, so it's not that bad.
3.
When I use my technique to enter combat, I'll also regenerate energy for my teammates. In addition, at the start of each wave, I'll deal damage to all enemies and gain Scourge.
Oh, I see.
Alright, now that we've wrapped up Finance combat abilities, it's time to bring you some updates on a few familiar faces. In version 3.4, Silverwolf, Blade, Kafka, and Jingliu are all getting some serious enhancements.
Yo! Old buffs, old buffs, old buffs, old buffs.
Let's go! Oh, Mr. Albert, please do tell us what's changing.
Let's start with Silverwolf. After the optimizations, her ultimate now lowers the defense of all enemies instead of just...
Alright, she tied herself with an Exa almost. Not quite, but at least her ability is better.
one.
Oh, so it's AoE now, not single target.
Exactly. Meanwhile, she'll prioritize adding a weakness that matches the type of the first character in your lineup.
Also better, because that way you can actually strategize.
On top of that, Silverwolf will regenerate extra energy at the start of combat and the beginning of each turn.
Oh, that makes it a lot easier to apply the weakness we actually want.
Next up, Kafka. After the buffs.
Honestly, with the Silverwolf update, I might have to actually go build her better. Ooh, maybe those will be some of my next build videos, because I already have a lot of relics and shit for them. And, like, if Finan's just, like, by himself in the banner, I have time before I have to roll for Saber, so...
Kafka's skill will trigger more DOT on enemies. And whenever a teammate hits an enemy target with any kind of attack, Kafka will launch a follow-up attack. After unlocking certain traces, the follow-up attack can also trigger extra DOT on the enemy. And using her ultimate recovers the number of times the follow-up attack can be triggered.
So basically, Kafka's got more frequent follow-up attacks, better efficiency applying debuffs, and an overall boost to DOT output.
Yeah, for sure.
And now for Blade. After the update, he will deal damage to enemies based on his max HP. When Blade enters the Hellscape state, he is more likely to be attacked, and his follow-up attacks will regenerate extra energy.
Sounds like Blade can trigger more follow-ups and use his ultimate more often, meaning his total damage output's gonna spike.
Good observation. A change will happen to Jingliu as well. Now she'll deal damage to enemies based on her max HP. Each time a teammate loses HP...
Okay, hold up. That is really cool, because her Ease passive recovers her health. As far as I remember, I hope I'm not talking out my ass on that. But I know she does have something that recovers her health when it happens. So that's actually kind of sick.
Jingliu stack.
However, this is also going to completely change the structure on how she's built, which sucks, but...
extra crit damage. After she enters the spectral transmigration state, she'll also gain a stack of syzygy. That means the spectral transmigration state lasts longer, and her overall damage output climbs even higher accordingly.
Our old friends sure are getting some solid upgrades. But with all these ability reworks, won't their Eidolons be affected?
Oh, don't worry, Professor Anaxa. Some of our old friends' Eidolons will be tweaked to better match the revamped kits, making sure everything stays in sync.
But what if someone wants to stick with their previous version of their abilities?
This question is stupid. Like, 99% of people would not. Now, granted, there's the people that like to challenge themselves that might stick to the old kits or something, or people that already have the characters built as perfect as can be, so they don't want to really mess with it. Like, I could see those being two reasons why someone would want to stick with the original build, but also...
That won't be a problem. You can switch between our friends' ability modes freely, so choose whichever version you like best. For more details, be sure to keep an eye out for official announcements.
Sounds good.
Aside from the ability reworks, one more old friend of ours is getting something new this time around.
Oh, who is it?
In version 3.4, Firefly's brand new outfit, Spring Missive, is making its debut.
A new outfit. Look at that.
Outfits? Is it a free one for when we go back to Pentacony? Like the March one? Or is it going to be like... Well, actually, March's is an outfit. So far we've only gotten free outfits in Star Rail, so fingers crossed.
Ooh, let's take a look at the video clip first.
With her school uniform on, Firefly looks more youthful than ever. And that firefly-shaped brooch on her chest? You can tell she put a lot of thought into picking it out.
Maybe she even asked for fashion advice from her fellow Stellaron hunters.
Well, Miss Kafka does have an eye for style. They must have talked a lot about it behind the scenes.
Even her mech's had a makeover. You think she spruces it up during downtime to match her outfit changes?
Yeah.
Oh, totally possible. If I had a mech, I'd also probably coordinate it with my outfit. New theme, new colors. The whole look has to be consistent. You'll be able to grab Firefly's new look from the contract shop using Oniric Shards. And again, please stay tuned for further details and future official announcements. Next, let's take a look at this version's banners. In version 3.4's first half warp event, Trailblazers can acquire the limited
Okay, but also the light cone art looks incredible.
5-star character Find It! And the limited 5-star light cone, thus burns the dawn, will have a boosted drop rate. Also, a brand new 4-star light cone for the Path of Remembrance, the story's next page, is being added to the first half banner. At the same time, we'll also kick off
And a tribute rerun. Fuck you! Well, looks like I won't get tribute for a very long time because I'm saving up for Artoria on my main. So I guess I lose out again unless I want to do... Yeah, I'm not even gonna fuck it. Like, here's the thing. Here's what I will say. I will pull for Tribi if people... Like, here. How about if this gets around enough, I'll pull Tribi. If this video reaches... I'm not a big creator. I'll stick it small. If this gets 50 likes, I'll pull for Tribi. Like, I'm not a good creator. I'm not a big creator. I don't want to spend money towards this, but hey, listen. I'll lay that out there.
up a special warp event. The limited 5-star characters, Treeby, Sunday, and Sparkle are coming back. Plus, 5-star light cones, if time were a flower, a grounded ascent, and earthly escapade will return as well. In the second half of version 3.4, we've got another round of special warp events. Limited 5-star characters, Firefly, Jingliu, and Blade will be back along with the limited 5-star light cones. Whereabouts your dreams rest, I shall be my own sword and the unreachable side.
Again, fuck you. Unless you're giving us like a shit ton of Jade this update. Fuck you. I already have all 6 of these things, so at least that's not that bad. The Triby thing, still fuck you. I wouldn't have minded getting a fucking E2 for... Yeah, an E2 for Firefly, but...
2 of our newly buffed old friends are making a comeback in this version. What about Kafka and Silverwolf?
Here's a little sneak peek. Limited 5-star characters, Kafka and Silver Wolf, will be back in version 3.5.
Also, why is Blade on a limited banner when he's able to be included in the general banner. Well, not the general banner, but what you can lose to. Like, his light cone I understand, but like...
And the limited 5-star light cones, patience is all you need, and incessant rain will rerun as well.
Nice!
Also, 8 new 4-star light cones will be added to the Nameless Honor rewards in version 3.4.
I see quite a few familiar faces on the light cones. There are a few mini versions of Chrysos heirs.
Looks like Finan really does enjoy spending his days in the wheat fields.
Nature's mattress. Can't beat that level of comfort.
It is kind of funny, they just basically introduced baby forms of their actual cones.
For sure.
All right, let's take a quick break. There's still more version 3.4 content coming your way. At the other end of this version,
Oh, Origami Bird Clash is back. This was a fun one.
piece of good news comes from Penacony at the other end of the cosmos. Origami Bird Clash is about to return in version 3.4.
Oh, is that the cute Match 3 game?
That's right! The International Peace Corporation has officially sponsored Origami Bird Clash and hopes to promote this arcade game full of Penaconian flavor throughout the whole cosmos. And the first step to starting that grand venture will be to open up the original shop arcade on the Trailblazers Radiant Feldspar.
There needs to be some new game modes for the game to make a name for itself, right?
Of course! This time, the 2 players will take turns acting on the same field, and every player has a set number of moves. You can eliminate 4 or more fruits to form bombs and obtain extra moves.
You can also get extra moves when you swap 2 super bombs to trigger a combo elimination.
Oh no! I see obstacles popping up on the field. How are we supposed to deal with those?
Not to worry. In this version of the Origami Bird Clash, there will be lots of new items that can help you in battle. For example, Shattering Hammer can eliminate any individual fruit or obstacle. Spicy Bomb can turn a fruit into a bomb, and Reset Cube can reset all fruits on the field. Leveling up items will also make them more powerful.
As long as you pick the right item at the right time, you can turn the tide and deliver a powerful blow to your opponent.
There are plenty of familiar faces among our opponents this time.
That's right. Trailblazers can still battle against many old friends in this event. In addition to participating in story challenges, Trailblazers can also do open challenges with friends from across the universe. This multiplayer mode won't end with version 3.4 either. Origami Bird Clash will replace the Seal Slammers multiplayer mode and become the new long-term.
Okay, but why does it have to replace it? Why couldn't you add it? Because, like, Seal Slammers is fun, but, like, why do you have to replace it? Why couldn't you just add it?
Co-op game mode.
We're done slamming seals. Now it's time for slamming paper birds.
All right, let us continue with more version content. Our old friend Gift of Odyssey returns at...
They're the free pulls that I was asking for. I mean, granted, Jade is still better for the long term, but the free pulls are still...
as usual in version 3.4.
Nice!
The Planar Fissure and Realm of the Strange events will also
Oh, yeah! Like, planar Armament Stumbling for a limited time. That's so great to get complete garbage. I'll say this every update when they say shit like this. Stop giving us double and triple events when they're just trash anyway. Update the drop rate of good shit. Like, you don't even just have to generally update the drop rate of good stuff. Do you want to know the good way to do it? Like, if you attach a specific character onto the build recommendation, you know, that would be the way to do it. You know, you put that character on build recommendation, and then when you go to grind that stuff, it has a higher chance to drop the stuff needed instead of just dropping garbage. You know, take, for example, I don't know, immediately Cypher. She builds like a general DPS plus effect hit rate. So, like, if I put on the, you know, I'm intending to build this character, let me go build her, let me go get her shit, it would have a higher chance of Pioneer dropping crit an effect hit rate as opposed to like HP or defense. That would be the better way to do it. But no. Here, we're gonna keep giving you double and triple events and hoping you pull good shit instead of making sure you can. Fuck you guys.
Turn. Complete the
Actually, watch us after all that ranting. They actually announced that they've changed the drop rates too.
challenges to get double rewards.
Yep. In version 3.4, Stagnant Shadow, Shape of Cinders, will also come online. And you can obtain the Ascension material, Charred Bud of Twilight, for wind characters upon completing the challenge.
At the same time, the planar ornaments, Arcadia of Woven Dreams, and Revelry by the Sea will also come online. Trailblazers can obtain them in the Divergent
I'm gonna guess those two are good for Saber and Archer.
Universe.
Ah, why did my seat collapse?
Okay, so I was right. The dinosaur was eating what he was leaning against the entire time. I like that they kept the consistency on that little bit. I do. I truly do. It gives personality to what's going on.
In addition, I'd like to share with you some information about a few events outside the game. First, the annual Hoyo Fest Off-White exhibition will begin in July. This year's event venues have been completely upgraded, and the events will be held in core cities in 6 Southeast Asian countries.
That's right. We've also prepared a lot of event missions and new merchandise. Please follow our official channels for details about the events and tickets.
In addition,
Hey, speaking of new merchandise, you know, if you guys want to release a better official Kafka plush, that'd be cool. Because, like, a little baby one over there, I would like to get it upgraded.
Honkai Star Rail will be joining Anime Expo this July. Come visit the Star Rail booth and claim free limited gifts.
A special panel for Honkai Star Rail will also be held at Anime Expo, featuring several special guests.
Please keep an eye out for more info and official announcements. See you at Anime Expo.
Well, thank you all for your kind introductions.
I still will not get over the fact, by the way, that Mighty is Krunk's son. I will not get over that fact.
Let me see. We're almost out of time. We'll move it on to our next show in just a sec.
You seem mighty busy, Owlbert.
Well, I am a professional super host.
What's going on?
Oh, goodness, Albert.
no!
Hey, what's going on? It's not my time yet.
Well, that's some kind of satanic summoning circle. Everyone looks shocked.
Whether or not you're wrong.
Time to talk about the return to Penacony. Which, also, speaking of that, one of the streamers I respect the most, like, talks so much shit on Penacony, and I just kind of sit here like, what do you mean it didn't add anything to... Like, she obviously did not pay any attention to the actual story in Penacony, because, yeah, a lot of stuff was completely random, but it all made sense in the end.
As the concept of a holy grail. Welcome to the live stage of the Honkai Star Rail and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works collab special program.
Long time no see, everyone. I'm Aventurine from the Interastral Peace Corporation.
Howdy, Galaxy Ranger Boot Hill, at your service.
Welcome, both of you. I, Albert, have apparently been summoned by the Holy Grail to be this show's host today.
Albert, could your class be... speaker?
Oh, son of a gun. That's funny.
Maybe you two can call me presenter instead. That sounds nicer.
Well, presenter doesn't sound half bad. In that case, why don't you present the situation to our audience? Explain what you meant by summoned by the Holy Grail and why we've arrived at Penacony.
Well, the cosmos is full of surprises. Soon after the ripples of the Charmony Festival had calmed, the Trailblazer received a secret invitation from Old Odie, head of the Alfalfa family. It turns out that the old Jen is planning a brand new entertainment spectacle called Sweet Dreams and the Holy Grail War.
Okay. The word war being involved really should have like been a huge disclaimer of, yeah, you should probably go stop this guy.
Sweet.
Also, I'm just now realizing the statues back there are literal representations of all the classes in Fate. Which is kind of cool, because, like, you got your assassin, can't recognize you immediately, you know, caster, lancer, archer, saber, berserker, so that would leave you as rider, I guess?
Dreams and the Holy Grail War. Sounds like a Holy Grail War is taking place in the Sweet Dream.
That's right, but I have no idea where old Odie got his Holy Grail from. Let me give a brief explanation of everything here. It's said that the Holy Grail is a wish-granting chalice that can manifest any miracle. And the Holy Grail War is a magecraft ritual for obtaining that power, as long as you win in the brutal contest of the Holy Grail War.
I hate to interrupt again, but I will say, I wonder how much the person in charge of the dev team was elated when this partnership happened. Because, like, there's been several, you know, Fate references in the game up to this point as it is. So, like, the man had to have been as giddy as all hell.
The Grail can fulfill your wishes.
That daggum Wubba Boot Charmony Festival has only just concluded, and they're putting on a new show already.
Hey, don't forget that Penacony prides itself on being a holiday resort. How are they going to attract tourists if they don't have any events? Besides, didn't the last Charmony Festival have a little accident? I mean, that probably wasn't great for Penacony's image. The family's definitely gonna want to find another opportunity to generate some buzz.
Well, I heard that old Odie hopes to make the Penacony and Holy Grail War into a new show that rivals the Charmony Festival, therefore returning Penacony to the cosmic limelight.
With dreams as the gimmick, the show is sure to attract a lot of money and a lot of dream chasers. I bet old Odie is thinking of the same thing.
This Sweet Dreams and the Holy Grail War program will be conducted in Penacony. The 7 invited participants will summon famous historical figures to fight alongside them as their servants. And the final winner will receive the precious opportunity to make their wish come true.
Chance to make any wish and any miracle come true. Well, that's definitely a nice gimmick. But, as we all know, people die if they're killed. Bullets don't discriminate.
He literally just made that reference. Okay. Good job, Boot Hill. You really captured the image of Emiya there.
So, someone gets caught in the crossfire.
Rest assured, everyone, the Sweet Dreams and the Holy Grail War production crew hereby swear that no one's life will be in danger in the dream. Everyone can participate and watch in peace.
All right. Well, since it's you, Owlbird, I'll believe it for now. So, who's participating?
To start off, the owner of the Radiant Feldspar, shareholder of Penacony's superstar, the Soul Glad festivity, our dear Trailblazer will be participating.
Oh, so the Trailblazer will be taking part in another adventure.
That's right. In addition, Miss Robin will also be a part of this war.
Well, as another Penaconian shareholder, the Interastral Peace Corporation's Strategic Investment Department sent me as their representative in the war.
The Galaxy Ranger Boothill will also participate in this Holy Grail War.
Actually, I was just wondering, why is a criminal wanted by the IPC participating in this?
Micah got an invitation too, but he has no time for this. I can't turn a blind eye when someone's in a tight spot, so helping out was the least I could do.
Looks like Mr. Boothill really has formed deep bonds with folks in Dreamflux Reef.
Well, apart from those we've mentioned, are there any other special participants that we've been looking forward to in this Holy Grail War?
Of course! Apart from local Penaconian heroic spirits, 3 very well-known heroic spirits will also arrive by the Grail Summon and participate in this Holy Grail War. They are respectively Saber, Archer, and Lancer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Of course, Ku. Why would Ku not be involved? Ku is probably the new 4-star that I heard rumor about.
I wonder which heroic spirit will end up accepting a contract with the Trailblazer.
Now, see? This is how you attract attention. Now we're gonna get tons of views. That's why you pay big bucks to get the big names. As to what stories will unfold in this Sweet Dreams and the Holy Grail War, and who will forge a contract with who, Trailblazers will have to find out in the game. Here's a reminder that the Honkai Star Rail and Fate
I wonder if I heard we're getting a free copy of one of them. So I wonder if that's how it boils down, is the free copy comes from whoever you wish to sign a contract with. Which, based on my profiles respectively, is good because one's male focused, one's female focused. So, like...
Day night?
Although, canonically, Artoria is technically a man and Emiya is more of a housewife. But we're not going to get into that detail. That's actual Fate canon.
Unlimited Blade Works collaboration Trailblaze Continuance, Sweet Dreams and the Holy Grail will officially start on July 11th. So keep an eye out for it.
Okay, that's kind of a balls move, because I have, like, a concert that day. So, like, suppose it'd be the next day when I would be doing the live stream of that.
Now let's learn more about Saber and Archer, our 2 heroic spirits from another world.
Oh, yes!
Yeah. Saber's dress seems a little different from usual now that she's arrived in Penacony.
Well, this is
I love how they referenced it.
the planet of festivities after all. You gotta dress up for the occasion.
Exactly right. The King of Knights' new outfit was personally designed by Mr. Takashi Takeuchi. It retains her iconic blue and white colors.
And her iconic ahoge.
That's right. It retains the nobility of a king and also emphasizes utility for a warrior. The lines along her shoulders and her cloak are straightforward, while the design of her skirt is quite reminiscent of timeless British fashion. As for how she looks in the game, well...
いつでも出陣できます。燃えさせ騎士の魂よ。はっ。ストライクエア。フェスカイバー。聖剣解放。
Well, butter my fudge and call me a biscuit. That Excalibur truly shows her strength as a kid.
No English VA listed is a little weird. Wonder if they're like trying to maybe take a snag at one of the actual voice actors for Artoria.
Oh, talk about fancy visuals.
And how come the King of Knights is always stuffing her face? Even in Penacony.
Oh, looks like Penaconian food is very much to her liking.
That's right. You can't fight on an empty stomach. Now, let's see how the King of Knights performs in battle.
Saber is a wind character following the path of destruction. Saber will gain a certain amount of core resonance when she enters battle. If she uses her technique in the overworld, Saber will obtain combat buffs and also more core resonances after entering battle. When she uses her basic attack, she can deal damage to a single enemy.
The King of Knights is cautious as ever in this new world. I see she's still hiding her weapon's appearance and true name.
When she uses her skill, Saber will deal damage to one designated enemy and its adjacent targets. If Saber has enough core resonance at that time, she'll consume core resonance to regenerate massive amounts of energy for herself and increase her skill's damage.
Ah. In other words, you need to accumulate as much core resonance as possible to increase the damage Saber deals.
Exactly.
Are there any other ways to obtain core resonance?
Yes, there are. Whenever any ally uses their ultimate, Saber obtains core resonance and increases her own damage dealt.
Behold, the King of Knights has dispelled invisible air, barrier of the Wind King around her sword, releasing high-pressure air in the blink of an eye to form Strike Air, Hammer of the Wind King, dealing a devastating blow to the enemy. When using her ultimate, Saber will deal damage to all enemies and turn her basic attack into enhanced basic attack. Her enhanced basic attack.
I am very much happy that they didn't like bullshit the name. They actually gave her what was intended. But again, that's probably due to the like high level of respect the leader of the dev team or whatever has for the creator of Fate.
Attack can damage all enemies and provide Saber with a certain amount of core resonance. Also, during battle, if the sum of Saber's energy and the energy she can regenerate via consuming core resonance exceeds the amount of energy she needs to use her ultimate, Saber will immediately take action.
Ah, so if you replenish core resonance in as many ways as possible, you can use Excalibur more frequently.
That's right. Not only does this sword bear the King of Knights past, present, and future, but it also represents the noble ideal that was held in the hearts of the countless soldiers who once followed her in battle. All right, that concludes Saber's introduction. Now we'll move on to our next otherworldly heroic spirit, Archer.
Oh, seems like Archer cares about this whole...
You know, he's missing voice. They're definitely like, maybe they are trying to like get a hold of the actual English VAs for these characters. Or maybe they're just not even going to bother with it. I don't know.
Grail wore very much. He put on a new outfit, too.
He even changed where his accessories go. Those decorations he had on his chest are now on his shoulders.
What sharp eyes you've got, dear guest. Archer's new outfit was also personally designed by Mr. Takashi Takeuchi. It has the classic red and black look. The sharp contrasts, reminiscent of a blazing fire in the deep night, imbued with a dangerous allure. The combination of the long trench coat with skin-tight combat gear emphasizes his lean figure and is the perfect fusion of attractiveness and strength.
You got that right. Director, show us the game footage already.
I am the bone of my soul. Unlimited blade works.
Okay. Actually including the I am the bone of my sword line and Unlimited Blade Works as his ult. Beautiful.
Oh, so that's Unlimited Blade Works? Oh, quite impressive indeed.
Yeah.
After all, Archer is a seasoned veteran of war.
I am the bone of my sword. That sentence sure brings back a lot of memories.
I agree.
Well then, let's take a look at Archer's combat performance in detail.
Okay, Archer is a quantum character following the path of the hunt. When he uses his basic attack, Archer can deal damage to one designated enemy.
An archer in close combat. That's pretty gutsy, I'll give him that.
That's right. But Archer hasn't exactly slacked off on his marksmanship training since coming to Penacony. When using his skill, Archer will consume 2 skill points to enter the circuit connection state, dealing damage to one designated enemy. While in the circuit connection state, Archer's turn will not end after he uses his skill, and he can continue to use his skill until he runs out of skill points.
Heads up, the more times you use his skill consecutively, the more damage Archer deals to enemies. After all, everyone knows that a dual-wielding fighter who can't use the Noble Phantasm isn't a good archer. When using his ultimate, Archer will recite the classic chant to activate Unlimited Blade Works, dealing damage to one enemy.
Apart from damaging the enemy, Archer's ultimate also grants him Special Charge. After any of his teammates' attacks, Archer will consume Special Charge to use a follow-up attack against the enemy targets, while also recovering 1 skill point for the team.
Oh, in that case, there's no need to worry about running out of skill points again.
He just couldn't help himself and had to use his favorite twin blades.
When he uses his technique to enter battle, Archer will deal damage to all enemies and obtain special charge.
And that's a wrap on Archer's introduction. Now, I have big news for everyone. From when the collab event starts on July 11th and until the end of version 3.6, Trailblazers can log into the game to claim the limited 5-star collab character Archer for free!
So we just get
Oh,
Nice.
awesome!
We hope that, under Archer's protection, every adventure that the Trailblazers embark on will cleave open the dark clouds and become a saga sung throughout the cosmos. We also hope that your encounter, or for some of you, a reunion, with the servants across this vast universe will bring you all wonderful memories in the days to come.
Oh, yeah! How about that? The free new limited 5-star character mentioned during the anniversary celebration is finally here as promised.
Actually, there's even more! Later this year, Trailblazers will get another brand new limited 5-star character totally for free!
Oh, awesome!
But let's keep our eyes on the present for now. I'm not quite done yet. Besides claiming Archer for free, Trailblazers can also directly obtain a set amount of character enhancement materials for Archer.
Wow, how thoughtful!
Yeah, this version's got a lot of characters to level up after all.
All right,
Actually,
let's check
I'll
out the
have to get
banner
a different
details.
getting fine
Once the
and all
collab
that.
starts on July 11th, Trailblazers can use Star Rail special passes in the character collaboration warps Excalibur Excelsior and the Bone of My Sword to obtain.
Oh, wait. It starts on the 11th. Oh, duh, because the other thing. Yo, wonder if I could, like, wrangle in birthday presents in the form of Google Play points. Or cash, because, like, listen, I might be an old man, but, like, I'd take it. So, like, yeah, if anybody sees this and, you know, just, like, wants to hang out on my Twitch streams and stuff, just saying, that'd be a lot of help as well. You don't even gotta directly do anything, just gotta hang out, have some conversation. Helps out a lot.
The limited 5-star characters, Saber and Archer, respectively. In the Light Cone Collaboration War, Trailblazers can get the limited 5-star Light Cone, A Thankless Coronation, from Birth of a King, and the limited 5-star Light Cone, The Hell Where Ideals Burn, from Red Radiance of Fuyuki. In addition, pity counts are shared between the character collaboration warp banners and also separately shared between the Light Cone collaboration banners, but neither carries over to other types of warps.
Okay.
It's worth mentioning here that the character and Lycone collab banners will stay open long-term after the event starts.
Does long-term mean even after versions 3.4 or 3.6 wrap up, you can still pull Saber, Archer, and the limited 5-star Lycones?
Exactly. These collab banners will run across multiple versions with no fixed end date yet.
Oh, nice!
And here's one more piece of news for you all. Throughout the entire duration of version 3.4, using Star Rail special passes for your warps will bring some special limited time discounts. After the collab event starts, when Trailblazers spend the designated number of Star Rail special passes, they can directly obtain the limited 5-star Light Cone, The Hell Where Ideals Burn.
Okay, well, while it sucks for my main on that, it is kind of cool that they're doing that. It's kind of like how the 7 Deadly Sins gacha game works, where if you get, like, a certain number of pulls used, you can just automatically claim X.
Throughout all of version 3.4? In other words, after the 3.4 update and before the collab event starts, any Star Rail special passes used in the banners for Finan or other rerun characters will still count toward the total, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Oh, yeah!
And now, as the collab kicks off, the voice actors for Saber
Like, honestly, this whole Fate event and the Finan thing, my alt account is eating good.
and Archer have some things they'd like to say to all of us. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back to hear their special messages. With the Honkai, big thanks to our voice actors for those thoughtful messages. with the Honkai Star Rail and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works collab about to launch, we want to take this opportunity on the program to sincerely thank all our partners in this collaboration. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Kinoko Natsu and Mr. Takashi Takeuchi for their unwavering support from the earliest planning stages to the final implementation. And thank you to the Animation Production Committee and everyone else involved for all their hard work on this collab.
Y'all are much appreciated.
Honestly, it's only with this kind of dedication that we can bring you all the ultimate joy!
In order to showcase the Holy Grail War from multiple angles and levels, the organizers say that they've also prepared another combat-filled program, Fate Stay Night. It was a night with no wind and no moon under the cool breeze of Penacony. The Trailblazer met the red-haired Lancer destined to cross their path. He stepped forward, raising his spear and uttered that iconic line.
The goddess of beauty is the most peerless beauty of them all.
Oh, so it's that red-haired Lancer.
You got it. After the sweet dreams in the Holy Grail War tournament, the genius Skullum made some modifications to the Holy Grail. Now, the Grail can load the simulated data of past striders through the user's memories. So in Fate Stay Night, Trailblazers will face off against many familiar and old friends in intense V1 battles. Each contestant starts with unique skills and a set amount of health. Losing a round means losing health. And when your health hits 0, you're out.
Is there a smart way to beat your opponents?
At the start of the game, Trailblazers get some free pieces, each with different classes that grant different buffs. You can merge identical pieces to upgrade them. The higher the piece's rarity, the stronger the buff. Pieces of the same class have bonds between them too. Collect enough pieces of the same class, and you activate special bond effects that give you a serious boost in battle.
Looks like bonds are super important in this Holy Grail War, huh?
Absolutely. And that's not all. Trailblazers can also acquire noble phantasms during battle for extra help. Plus, during combat, Trailblazers can have the chance to get 3 command spells. Using these spells grants additional buffs.
Command spells, huh? Well, I'm curious. What role is the Trailblazer playing this time?
It's player.
This Grail feels kind of off. Forking hell. Could it be corrupted?
You right on the money. Trailblazers can increase the Holy Grail's corruption level to unlock extra buff mechanics. The higher the corruption level, the more points you earn when you win. Heads up, raising corruption level also powers up your enemies. So watch your step, Trailblazers.
Oh, but don't worry too much. After all, this is a reality show competition, and just for entertainment. The organizers of Fate Stay Night have also prepared a special Protected Mode competition. In Protected Mode, Trailblazers can fight using trial characters, and enemy strength is toned down.
This way, new Trailblazers can jump in and fully enjoy the Holy Grail War experience.
Exactly. The production team cordially invites everyone watching to stay the night. Experience some epic battle action.
And score yourself some stellar jades and other awesome rewards.
Now, just a quick reminder, this Honkai Star Rail and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works collaboration is split into 2 parts. The Trailblazer Continuance, Sweet Dreams and the Holy Grail, and the event, Fate Stay Night. The Fate Stay Night event will open for play on July 11th. The 2 programs stand on their own, so Trailblazers can dive into each separately.
Awesome! So much content!
All right. Big thanks again to our 2 guests. That wraps up today's Fate Collab Update.
Presenter, your mission is complete.
It's all part of the job. Anything for the Trailblazers. So Trailblazers, my honored masters, let's meet again in version 3.4. See you there.
We hope you'll stay the night.
Bye-bye.
See you next time, guys.
See you next time.
Bye.
That actual hour though. Okay, so like, number 1, I'll repeat, my alt account is eating so good next patch. Like, holy shit. Finan looks fucking sick as hell. Free Archer, basically free Archer Cone. Like, that all in of itself is so fucking good for my alt. My main account, a little unfortunate, because the Tribby thing, which again, 50 likes, I'll pull for Tribby. Saber's Cone, gotta pay for both of those. I honestly think they should have given whichever you choose for free, but whatever. Maybe it's like their way of being like, man, people don't often pay for male characters, so let's just give them this for free. Kind of like they did with Ratio. But hey, if we're getting another free 5-star in the future, maybe it'll be a female, maybe it'll be a selector. Ooh, maybe that thing I saw of all the Amphoreous characters being on a selector will end up being true. Then I won't have to get Tribby. Especially because it's highly unlikely this video will get 50 likes. But I'm excited to see the conclusion of Amphoreous. I am, like, very much so. Like, there's a lot of cool shit to come from that. And I can't wait to see exactly how Finan goes about his transformation. Because, like, I said my thought on what the rumor was based on the leak I saw, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a thing. But the other thing I will say is something I've already said once of, stop giving us double and triple relic events if you're not going to up drop rate, you stupid fucks. Anyway, that is in all seriousness, though, because, like, they really could do something better for how to roll relics. Like, all of these gacha games need to, like, improve that. Because I understand, like, if you make it if more possible to get certain relics, like, it basically reduces the playability of your game. But does it really? Like, by the third wave of patches, you should do that kind of thing in any of these gacha games, high-key. Because, like, if a lot of the time people spend is just grinding out relics, that's actually the least interesting part of gameplay, and people will stop playing a game because of that. Next part is anyone whining about global passives, and yes, this includes some of my friends, you know who you are. At least the next global passive isn't global, it's actually team-based, which is good. Now, come 3.5, 3.6, whatever, will we be seeing more of the global passives as they mentioned in the past? Maybe. But for now, at least we're not getting another one. It's just Finan does his thing based on the team he's on, which is still cool. Like, he's Akron, but better for what he does with his technique, and he adds on more skill points, so that further makes him better. Which... But at least she's still... Yeah, she's still great for my main account. But, that all said, let me know your thoughts on all this information, because honestly, it seems kind of fucking sick and cool. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Are you actually pulling for any of the characters mentioned, or are you still going to keep waiting on? Because we have had 2 other characters drip marketed. And, well, actually, since I already got to edit this extra, I want to... Shut up, you. Were they actually drip marketed? Or is it just like a spoiler I saw somewhere? Ah, they were actually drip marketed. Okay. Okay. Both of them or just the one? Both of them. Okay, cool. Okay, well, first I'm going to talk about this. We're going to talk about Hycelins, who... Is she the one that, Yeah, she's the one... No, she's not the one. Wait, yes? Yeah, she is the one. Okay. Yeah. Like, physical nihility. We only have one of those, and it's fucking Luca. So her in 3.5, I'm 100% pulling for. Like, she's got quite a look about her. She's the first physical nihility character since fucking Luca. Of course I'm pulling for her. She's gorgeous. Like, Electra? The name has long since sunk into the depths of the past. Ah, it's you, little gray fry. Call me Hyslins. I probably mispronounced the fuck out of that, but I don't care. I am the Knight Commander of the Holy City, and I will remain on watch. I will not let the storms of fate cloud your eyes. Oh, maybe it actually will be part of the Holy Grail War still. The wave-strumming night Electra. Styxia, a coastal city of intoxication and dreams, where echoes of old songs still drift among the waves. Electra, daughter of the sea, Chrysos air, who cleanses the ocean's core flame, dispels the murky undercurrents, and orchestrates a feast of revelry for the heroes beyond the sky. The show must go on, even if the hope is as fragile as bubbles. Hey, don't talk about my chimera like that. And Trotter, the waves will keep surging forward. The affiliated city-states, Styxia, Okama, Divine Authority, Chalice of Plenty, Fagosa. And now we will talk about the other one. We will talk about her. We will talk about the Amphoreous Sagas of Heroes, Saradra, Flamebearer, Tyrant, Empress, Supreme Commander, Imperator. Also probably mispronounced that. The world has given me countless titles, but you may simply call me by my true name, Saradra. Chessmaster Monarch Saradra, the Northern Emperor of Lost Dynasty, where frozen lands burn with ambitions of conquest. Sovereign Saradra, Chrysos heir who wields the core flame of law. You shall set your pieces, challenge the gods, pass the judgment upon the faithless, and carve the path of flame chase into the fate of this world. This is no end. The path of Amphoreous shall blaze across the stars. City of Okama, the Divine Authority Scales of Justice Talaton, we have our Wind Harmony character, Saradra. She kind of reminds me of Furina based on her design, honestly. But, like, this, like, 3 patches worth of summons, and my main account is going to want at least 2 of them. Saradra looks really cool, she does. But I have... Yeah, I'm set on Harmony and Wind characters unless her kit is, like, incredible. But, like... Saber, of course, I'm going to have to get at least one of with her cone, because it's like super limited time. It's not going away anytime soon based on what the thing said, but it's still like super limited time technically. But then, yeah, no, Helicines, I 100% have to get her, like, at least at 1. Maybe even E1, depending on what her kit looks like, so... Yeah, let me know who of those 6 characters you are going to pull for. 6? Technically 5 new characters you are going to pull for because we have 4 on the reruns. Because I've already laid out my plans. Like, maybe Triby if this hits the light goal, but then again, if we get, like, what I also saw as maybe a data leak, and that's the free character thing, maybe I won't need to roll for Triby, but hey, I'll man my word. But I'm definitely getting at least 1 copy of Saber and her cone. And then everything else might be going for a new physical nihility character. But let me know your thoughts on that. As well as, of course, the usual hit the like button, subscribe to the review channel in the description down below. Ring both bells, like Facebook, follow Twitter, and Blue Sky, keep updated with things. TikTok, Patreon, where you get the full unedited visual and audio, the stuff I upload there, but always looking for free content to upload there. Hell, maybe that would also help, me get a little bit to be able to pull for these characters more. Go full Twitch, where I'll be doing a lot of grinding within the next couple months, obviously. Subscribe for benefits. Can do so Twitch Prime for free. I know Twitch is getting bad. Let me know, should I start a kick to also do some of the streaming, or is that full of a bunch of the degenerates of the planet still, and it's not as good as I think. That said, check out the playlist here. Let it run through, have conversations with stuff within whatever. check out the video recommended to you by YouTube here, or I might stick the last Honkai related thing here. Either way, until next time, been TheBlaziking with King... Shit, wrong channel. Ta-ta for now. Peace.